Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Rewind That. It's your girl, Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Today, guys, we are going to be going over The Wire, Season 5, Episode number 3. This episode is called Not for Attribution. Not for Attribution. Sorry about that, guys. And as you can see going across the screen, we have the quote of the episode, "They're dead where it doesn't count." And that's by Fletcher. He is a character in the Newsroom. All right, guys, let's see who is in the building. What's up, Daria, DeMarcus, Tamika, Eric S., Rashonda? Hold on, guys. I have to tell someone to be quiet. Apologies. All right, guys. What's up, Eric S.? Come here. So, speaking of Eric, RD, what's up, Oliver? Can you please be careful with what you're doing? Eric, look who I have here. It's Mally.
What's up, Eric? Yeah, it's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So, Eric, I just wanted Malachi.
Where's he at? I don't see him.
Right here.
Oh, there you go.
I just wanted Malachi to come say hi because, guys, Eric S., he follows me because he was following my son. So he's like a super supporter. So
for real,
I definitely appreciate him being here. And Malachi is 22 now. I think, when did you start your channel?
High school, 2019.
I think it was before. I don't think it was before
2018, right? But like it started blowing up 2019.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you, DeMarcus, for the super sticker. Appreciate it. All right, Mal. Thanks. I just wanted you to say hi.
All right, y'all. Be safe.
He said hi. See, look. Hi, Malachi. All right, Moochie. Are you ready, my girl?
Hey.
How's it going for the formal introduction?
How y'all doing?
How's everyone doing? I guess you're gonna be off camera today, hun.
Yeah.
What's up,
LS? But I'm off camera though.
What's up, LSW, RD, and who else? Oliver came through. Oh, thank you, Eric S. for the super chat donation in honor of Malachi and Miss K. Thank you so much. I appreciate. I want to say my last name, guys. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right, guys. So let's get into this episode. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think this episode was all that. I understand that it's leading up to stuff, but it was a lot of politics in this episode, a lot of the newsroom stuff. So I wasn't really, and I'm not the type that needs, all the violence and all this and all that, but it just wasn't all that. But I understood.
Yeah, it was a filler episode. It was a filler episode.
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of dragged.
Yeah. So we have McNulty, guys, and he's looking through these old pictures of dead homeless men that were, I guess, deleted, right? And so Bunk, he shows up super early, 4 a.m. in the morning, guys, and he finds out that Jimmy never freaking left. All right. And so Bunk tells Jimmy that, he's wasting his time and he's dumping deletions on the squad that they're never going to solve. They can't solve them. And it's messing up the clearance rate. And Jimmy says, screw the numbers, right? And he said, I came back to Homicide on a promise and they're going to keep that promise. And Bunk tells him that he doesn't want anything to do with this and his name better not be anywhere near that file. Okay. All right. So, Moochie, did you want to say anything about this? McNulty is working overtime.
It's 4 a.m. and he's drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And he's even like, you really pushing the envelope with this, Jimmy. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Straight up with him. He lets him know when he's messing up. And I like the fact that he didn't pull no punches with him.
Right.
And telling him how, you stepping into deep waters right now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right. Let's see what else we got. So also later, right, McNulty, he's using this red ribbon because he found another case that had a red ribbon situation. So he's trying to find the MO for the serial deleter. And so he finds this red ribbon situation on somebody else that was found on another dead guy. And so now he's telling McNulty, Bunk is telling him again that he's out of his mind. Please come back to your senses and all of that. And McNulty brings up the fact that they got Kima working alone on a triple homicide. Like, look how low the police department has dropped. So it's a triple homicide, the one with Junebug situation, and they got Kima working on it by herself. Like he's just like, look what the heck is going on, and so that's just that. I don't know if you wanted to say anything about that, but I know that you don't like McNulty, but I see.
I did wanted to say something.
Yeah, go
I
on.
feel like with this whole scene, we're starting to see him get worse. His old habits is coming back. He's starting to drink. He's doing anything that he wants because he's mad that the police work is not working out like how he wanted to.
Mm-hmm. It's true. So
and with Bunk, he's letting him know that this is a bad idea from the beginning, and if you get caught, he's telling him what consequences he may face.
Right. And he said, you know what happens to pretty cops in prison. Pretty cops like you. All right. So next, guys, we have Valchek coming through to Carcetti. He's a brown noser. So he suggests to Carcetti that he should give him a shot at being the acting commissioner, at least while they're grooming Daniels, right? Valchek says that this will also give Carcetti a head start on clearing out the deadwood like Burrell and Rawls. And Carcetti tells him that he'll think about it. But one thing Carcetti does thank him for is for bringing by the stats. Like, it's like leaked stats or whatever that's showing that the crime rate has bumped up at least 4%. So the thing is, Carcetti is saying after Rawls leave, I'm sorry, not Rawls, after Valchek leaves, Carcetti is saying, listen, if he's holding up the stats in his hand and he's like, listen, he tells Norman, if Burrell owns up to these stats, I'm going to have to give him a pass, right? He's working to get rid of Burrell, but he's like, if he owns up to these stats, I'm going to have to give him a chance, and we'll see what happens later. What's up, Renee and Marlon? All right. So can we move on, Moochie? Or
Yeah. We can go ahead.
All right.
Because Valchek be doing what he want to do.
Yeah. So now, guys, we have Alma. So we see Alma get up very, very early in the morning. I'm talking about, like, it's still dark outside, and she goes down, like, she probably got to go downtown somewhere to find out where this paper is, because she was told that her freaking story with the triple homicide was going to be front page. All right. So, she finds out that it didn't make front page like Gus thought it would. And she says, 3 people deleted in the house and it gets 12 inches below the fold. I don't know exactly where 12 inches below the fold is, Moochie, but I think it's what we were talking about last week. I mean, on Sunday, when we were saying how, one of those stories that Scott was trying to do with the kid in the wheelchair, that's what he deserved. He deserved one of them box stories on page 35 or something. So we see hers is like,
and that story was a lie to begin with.
Yeah,
we have no sources or whatever, but we already talked about that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so her story is back there. It's like, wow, are you serious? And so she's saying, I need you to explain this to me, right? She's telling Gus that, explain this to me. And he says, there's no explanation. Like, we messed up, And I think he was saying something about, like, the editor. It was his fault that he let Team A handle it or something like that. And then it got something happened during the night editing. It was just it was a bunch of stuff going on. And so when he leaves, when Gus walks away, that's when we get the quote of the episode from Fletcher. And he says, the problem is that the victims are in the wrong zip code. They're dead where it doesn't count. If these would have been white people in some type of town, he said, started with a T, I believe, Timothonia, whatever the heck he said. He said it would have been front page. So
he's telling the truth, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a shame. What's up, RC? Showing love to everybody in the chat. That's what's up.
Hey,
All right. So Did you want to say anything about this or
I feel like
rolling along?
these two that's right here are the reporters out of the new batch.
Mm.
The other guy, even though he's got the boss's ear,
Who, Gus?
yeah, not Gus. Gus, not the edit, not him. The other, the guy that told the story about the wheelchair.
Oh, Scott.
Yeah, Scott is just he's mediocre, and Gus know it.
Yeah. We'll talk more about that. So, that's that. And then we also have McNulty. When we go back to the ribbon, this is just real quick. He plants the ribbon on the dead guy that he found, the dead homeless guy, the guy that he's working. He's trying to get he's trying to get this serial deleter story going, okay?
Uh-huh.
So he plants the ribbon. He goes down to the morgue and he plants the red ribbon on the victim. Like, did you see how he was like rolling it up?
So easy to do it. He made
He
it
was
look
rolling it up, stomping on it.
putting his feet prints on it.
Yeah, I was like,
and stuff. He really worked, but he listened to what.
No, he not yet.
He looked through all those files to find that ribbon.
Yeah.
When that's what he was doing there when he stayed there all night drinking.
Mm-hmm.
So he's building a case. He's making a case.
Meanwhile, he ain't coming. He ain't going home to Beatty. Daggone shame.
I feel bad. I felt bad for her.
Yeah. So, guys, back at the Sun, we got the executives coming. I know the one, this tall guy up here. I mean, he's standing on a chair. That's the one that loves Scott so much. But the one below, I think they said his name is Tom. But anyway, so they're coming to everybody, calling a meeting and letting them know that they have to make some hard choices because Chicago is coming down on them, and also the bureaus in other countries will be closed down, right? And so that means that they're going to be doing some buyouts. So there will be a fresh round of buyouts. So basically, folks are about to get cut throughout the newsroom. And they start calling people that same day, like literally right after the meeting was done. Tom calls the guy right there in the brown suit and the red tie. He's like, come with me. I'm like, oh, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, not him, So they already know that folks is getting fired up in his piece.
Yeah,
all right.
sad.
Yeah, it's really sad. And, he was talking about how the internet is coming into play. Like the paper is declining because of so many other things, so many different resources. You got free news on the internet, things like that. So yeah, we're this is the beginning, guys. I think you were talking about this last week. Like this is the beginning of the end for them, and how the internet has technology, new technology is kind of pushed the newspaper
to the
out.
back burner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's that. All right. So then we also have that McNulty, his homeless guy, he receives that the cause of death is homicide through strangulation. I'm sorry, I said strangulation. Just strangulation. I don't know why sometimes.
It's all right. It's like strangulation.
Strangulation. I don't know what. Sometimes my mind just it's through strangulation. Wow. Anyway, it just came out. That's annoying. But anyway, that he's happy about that, right? Because this is what, like you said, he's working this case. This is everything he's trying to make sure that this is what goes on. And he also brings up to the lady at the morgue that he's like, yeah, he had a ribbon on and stuff like that. And she was like, yeah, my lead investigator, he missed that somehow. He's just really trying to sell the story. All right. Basically. So yeah. So now we have the scene where we've got Burrell in the meeting and Rawls with Carcetti. And it looks like Burrell put the final nail in his coffin because he didn't come clean on the stats, right? Carcetti was given the real stats, of course, by Valchek, which I said already, and it showed the 4% bump in crime. But Burrell and Rawls claim only 1% overall, right? So He's basically been caught in a lie, and Carcetti is ready to move against Burrell and promote Daniels to commissioner. But of course, Rawls will be the standing guy until, for a few months until Daniels is ready. But one thing I noticed about this scene is that when Carcetti was telling them, he said, listen, you guys know that at least the least you can do, you're going to tell me that after all that happened, right, with the all the money, the decrease and all of that stuff, me not being able to come through on the promises, you mean to tell me that there hasn't been a bump in the crime rate? Like, he's actually expecting, you know what I mean? Like, it's politics. They talk about all this stuff. They're expecting a bump in the crime rate. And he's like, for you to tell me that it hasn't changed, like, are you kidding me? He said, the least I need you guys to do is bring me clean stats. And so the whole thing is like, it's looking like they're cooking them up, but I don't know what's going on yet. But for me, it looks like Rawls had a guilty face. And I was just looking at him like, why do he look like that?
Of course, because remember, he was juking the stats before. Rawls. He was part of that.
Yeah. And he said
all of that. So that's probably why he looks so doggone guilty, because he know he backdoored this commissioner.
Burrell,
yeah. So he know he did something dirty. When he came for the job, he set everything into play to have him exposed. I'll say it like that.
So this already happens?
Yeah, keep in mind, remember you had the whole Amsterdam incident.
Yeah.
You had that. And then he they already took the money to for the schools to put it towards that. So now they look bad to the people. Everything that his advisor was saying, what could happen if you do this, if you don't take the money, and if you do take the money.
Okay.
And now what's happening is the police department, the morale is down.
Yeah.
They getting messed up. They're not getting any money and equipment. So,
yeah, everything's looking
bad. Like, I wouldn't say it's a slowdown, but you gotta say because they're not giving them no overtime.
What? Marlon Easton said, fun fact, the lady who plays Alma is married to D'Angelo in real life, Larry Gill. Oh, wow. That's interesting. All right. Oliver Spartan says Gus directed a few episodes and is a writer for some of the Wires episodes. Didn't know if y'all went over that. That's what's up. It's interesting. Very nice. All right. So now, guys, that's what's going on with that. And then we have Marlo goes to Prop Joe and tells him that he has too much money, right? So Prop Joe takes Marlo to a church to clean his money, and Slim Charles and Chris, they wait outside, and Chris says that, it's taking kind of long, and they're like, the heck is taking so long? And he says, I guess Slim Charles was like, well, it must be some complicated stuff, and Chris says more like Joe makes it complicated. That man sure got, he sure got to wait for conversation or something like that, he said, right? So he has a thing for conversation, and he says, not like Marlo. And what is his name over here? Slim Charles is like, yeah, definitely not, right?
Right.
And when he said that, for some reason, I felt like a deeper meaning behind it. You know what I mean? Because I would have definitely, only reason why I brought up this little scene right here, which seems like it could be so small, is because it was just something like every little let's say interaction that Marlo has with Prop Joe, and if what's his name is present, Slim Charles, he always have this look on his face like he ain't really feeling the something, you know what I mean? So that's, I don't know if you wanted to say anything about that, but that I just kind of feel like there was more something deeper that he was saying, like when he was like, yeah, definitely not, because when I feel like, here's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so when Chris says that, Marlo's nothing like that, and Charles says definitely not, I feel like he's basically saying that Marlo is definitely a different type of monster or whatever. Like he doesn't play by the rules and this and that. Like I feel like it was
He doesn't.
more of a respect thing with Prop Joe. You know what I mean? I hope I'm explaining
Mm-hmm.
myself right. I don't know. It was more. I feel like it was just more respect. Like he was trying to say, like, yeah, y'all want some other stuff. You dare go and write
They
Marlo
are.
ain't nothing
They're
like
on. They're on that fear. Everybody fears Marlo. Everybody fears him. Whereas Prop Joe, a lot of people respect him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a
Yeah,
difference.
right. And that pretty much that's what I'm trying to say. Like I just feel like he, even though he just said it, definitely not just two words. It was like a bigger meaning behind what he was saying. Eric S says there are a few YouTube videos that describe Slim Charles as a subtle mastermind. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Neither
I
would I.
wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised. But sorry that I took so long with that one. For some reason, I couldn't get Slim Charles's name out of my mouth every time I was trying to talk about it. So now we have that Gus is told that he's needed, right? Because he got called into the newsroom. I'm sorry, not into the newsroom, in the office. And he's like, oh gosh, like what the heck, what's going on? And they're like, no, Thomas ain't no, we need you. So just, relax. But what we need you to do is help. They're counting on him to transition the new team. And Gus is like, what new team? You know what I'm saying? Like, what new team? you getting rid of everybody. And that's when the other guy says, well, we're doing more with less. We've heard more with less. I think that was the title of the first episode and everything. So I just, like I said, since there was so much of the politics and the newsroom stuff going on in this episode, gotta go over it real quick. All right. So now we have that I'm sorry, Michael, he is still bothered by the Junebug family deletion situation. And
Mm-hmm.
so, Dookie's like, you want to talk about it? And he tells him what happened. And he's, Michael says, now everything is so serious. So, you're getting this moment where you can see that his life is no longer like a child's life. Like he's always had to do some stuff that a child shouldn't do, like take care of his brother and make sure there's food and all that stuff. But now that he's really fitting for himself and he has to make a way for himself by always being on the corner and also deleting people, it's just like he's just like, everything is just so serious. Like I guess he's doesn't feel like there's any kind of fun in his life. And so Dookie was like, we should go to Six Flags, let's do something. And so we'll see later on that he definitely
He
goes. He
worried
says,
about his corner.
right, he first says, oh, my corner and this and that, but then we see later on that he goes, and we'll talk about that also. Do you want to say anything about this part?
I felt bad for him because it's like he got thrown into this life because his mother's a jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Because his mother don't want to be responsible.
Yeah. So, guys, McNulty freaking screws a chick that he met in the bar on the hood of his car or a car
Oh goodness,
outside. Like,
it's just a hot mess. Just a
I
hot
do not
mess.
have the picture of that, child.
He was just going in, going ham, and the girl was just letting him have his way.
It's just disgusting. And so there's cops coming by, someone, look at this guy, look at this. They don't recognize him as an officer,
No,
so they
but
flashing the light on him, and then that's when he's pumping, and then he flashing it, stop pumping and flash his badge, then going to continue to pump. I'm like, this is disgusting. Like
yeah, he's even worse now than he was before to me.
yeah, it's just, I'm like, you know what? Something is really wrong. All right. So before we move on, I do want to mention real quick. I'm really not going to say much about it. Is that there are some court hearings going on in this episode for Clay Davis. Rhonda is leading them. She's asking all the questions and stuff like that. She even has the driver come in, and now he's freaking out. So I don't know if you want to say nothing about that, but that was
It was
boring
just
to
the way
me.
he walked out and Sidney was
Yeah.
saying something. That was the part that
Have a
was
good
funny.
day.
Yeah, because he knows that, like, if he's walking out like this, he gonna run and tell Clay Davis, like, it's bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Marlo, um, he meets with Vondis, right? And he brings him a briefcase of money, but kind of similar to what Sergey tells him when he went to, like, I don't need money. So Vondis kind of says almost the same, like, you're bringing me money I don't need. You know what I'm saying? And plus, it's literally dirty. It's not
Nah, it's like
illegally dirty. It's
he,
literally dirty,
he
and
took
he
it
don't.
off the corner.
Yeah, he don't want no literally dirty money. And he's like, if you bring it back to me clean, then we could talk, whatever. I know, of course, I'm paraphrasing stuff. What's up, Candy Love?
Mm-hmm.
And so once again, Joe to the rescue, Prop Joe. And so he lets Joe know that he needs his money cleaned. And so Joe hooks him up with some crisp dollar bills. I said dollar bills, crisp bills.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't even charge him because he says he's a part of the co-op. Now, this is Prop Joe missing out on $40,000. If he would have charged Marlo for this, it would have been $40,000.
Yep.
He actually he did this for him for free. And I'm like, wow. Mm. Just you could see in this episode that he's really taking care of this kid. Like
He's really trying to take him
he's
under his
helping him.
wing and show
Yeah.
him the business.
Yes. Okay, and so then Marlo, he says, also, can you let all the guys that got burnt, tell them that just spread the word that I'm giving away 50 for a line on Omar's people. And he says this in front of Cheese, of course, and I feel like he does this intentionally, to say this in front of Cheese. So Joe tells him that he would let sleeping dogs lie, right? And Marlo says, I know you would, because you smart like that. But me, that's a different story, right? And so when they leave, Cheese says, boy want Marlo bad. And Prop Joe was like, I ain't giving him nothing on Omar. I said boy want Marlo bad. I'm sorry, boy want Omar bad.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I ain't giving him no Omar. I'm not giving him nothing on Omar. Omar has been gone, and he took a lot of bad history with him, aka I want to say juju, bad juju. The way he was talking about it, he took a lot of history with him, and so why would I want to bring him back?
Exactly.
Like let that ninja stay gone, okay? You want to talk about this scene, Mooch, or what?
Prop Joe is really taking this kid and trying to like school him.
Mm-hmm.
He's taking him under his wing. He's showing him things. He's helping him out when he needs help. And it seemed like every step of the way so far, Marlo was showing you the person that he is.
Mm-hmm. All the time.
Mm-hmm.
And what about Cheese? Nothing on Cheese?
Same thing. He grimy too. It's just like he looks so conniving right here.
Yeah.
The look on his face, like he knows that there's a gold mine at the end of the rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
Like he said, he looked right. He look in here. He looks like he want to hook up with Marlo.
Yeah, he already got the look, which is the reason why I think Marlo keeps saying certain things in front of Cheese,
Mm-hmm.
because he sees what kind of guy he is.
Exactly.
All right. So we have Michael and Dookie and June. I said Junebug. I'm sorry, Bug. They finally go to Six Flags, and we see them having fun. Doing stuff that kids their age should be freaking doing. They meet a few girls and all of that. They're like, "Where are you from?" This and that. Oh, you have your own place. So they have fun, and it was cute. Dookie had his little girl that was, around him,
Mm-hmm.
and you got Michael with his little shorty and everything. One of them was holding Bug's hand and stuff. I was like, oh, look.
And somebody was holding Michael's hand too.
Yeah, one of the girls was holding Michael's hand, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying another girl was holding Bug's hand, like
Mm-hmm. They
she's
all had a little play there.
taking over as if like that's her little brother or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so later on when they they have fun, they get they get back, And you got Monk trying to press him, talking about something, where the F you been and all of this. I don't know if he said where the F you been, but he said, where you been at all this time? He said, we went out, because there was no school. And he's like, well, I had to man your corner this whole time and all of this. And so, he tried to really seem like he tried to embarrass him a little bit or sun him a little. And Michael wasn't having it. He's like, well, I'm here to check it now. You know what I'm saying? Is it good? The guy standing right here. This is
the one with the heavy accent.
This is Monk right here.
Uh-huh.
All right. And he talking to him like, yeah. Well, I'm here to check it now. The count all right? Is the count all right? Like, I'm not move this head
I
out
like the fact that he not scared of them though.
Right. And so this kind of causes Monk to kind of like, fall back or whatever. Because Michael is not that one. Like, you can't do him like everybody else. And so he said, yeah, but that ain't the point. And Chris already heard about this too. So, he can't really say nothing much. All he had to do at the end, like his little prick in the balls, was to say Chris heard about it. Like, as if, that's who you really need to be worried about, since you want to raise, since you think, since I can't handle you, right? But then he gonna say nice dolphin, nigga. Like, what the heck? I was like, you know what? This is too stupid. What are you talking about the dolphin for? He was so like, he couldn't. Marlon said he can't stand Monk. He was so like, it seemed like he ruined his night, right? Like they were having a good day. And he kind of ruins his night. Yeah, he was like, I'm just ready to go. Spider told him that everything was well on the corner, and that was that. And so he said, I don't want to deal with this. I will deal with this tomorrow or whatever. So let's go. Let's go home. All right. Did you want to say anything about this whole scene?
I thought this part, like I said, I already said what I said. I like the fact that he stood up to them, stood up to Monk. Mm-hmm. And he let him know, you're not going to freaking come down on me like this.
No.
My corner. And the count is right. And what?
Right, exactly. Everything good?
I like that he put some bass in his voice.
Yes. Shut him all the way down. Made him feel stupid. So I'm like, that's not the point.
Exactly.
Oh, well, what's the point then? You trying to come over here with your little stank attitude, like somebody's supposed to be scared of you. This little boy be getting it in on these streets. Don't talk to him like any old way. Anyway, so now, guys, once again, Prop Joe is really helping Marlo a lot in this episode, and he tells him that he now has 400 of his own money in an overseas account, right? And so Marlo says, well, how do I know it's there? Joe says you could check it online. Marlo is like, but what if I want it in my hand? Blah, blah, blah. Because clearly he's not somebody that knows how to use freaking computers and all of this stuff. Mm-hmm. So he just sounds really stupid. And so, like, I don't mean to say it like that, but he don't know what's going on. And so he was like, okay, well, how about we get you a passport and then you take a trip, so that this way you can actually hold your money, you little ignorant son of a gun. And so, when they leave, once again, I tell you, I just watch Slim Charles. Like, first of all, that actor has done a good job at just nonverbals, right, and body language and everything. And he doesn't say anything, when he does speak, like the last time when he told him to beware of Marlo, because he on to something, right? He up to something. But when they left, you had Joe said, it ain't easy civilizing this mother lover.
Exactly, because he's just like a little ghetto wildcat.
Yes.
What?
Ain't easy civilizing this ninja, but every time he comes to him, he makes time for this guy, Hey, I think that's sad though, that somebody he's trying to help, and he's just a grimy son of a gun. So guys, Daniels, right? He sees the story. Hold on, wait. Hold on, wait a minute. I skipped something. Um, it was something about Gus going to.
Oh, he gets called in. That's what you didn't talk about.
No, I did. I talked about him
When it
getting
was his
called
turn
in.
getting called in?
Yeah, when he got called in, um, I talked about how he got called in and how they said that they need him to work, to help with the transition. But what I didn't say was that Norman tells Gus that Carcetti is planning to fire Burrell, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Rawls temporarily replacing him as new commissioner and all of that. So Gus tries to give the job to Scott, right? But Scott don't know nothing about Daniels. Now,
Yep.
mind you, the dude that does know, his name is Roger Twig, and he just got the news that he's gonna be let go. Ain't that something, Moochie?
Yeah, he knows everything. He didn't even have to make a phone call. He gave him a breakdown, even knew about Ronnie and everything.
Yes,
He
yes.
broke down that that Daniels is divorced. His wife is this. It was just like he gave like the whole 411. And Scott looked like he was hating.
Yeah.
But you don't know. How you gonna
Right.
get mad?
They're gonna talk about something. I would have had it surrounded in 2 hours. Ain't no 2 hours. He gave you 30 seconds.
All of this. All you would have had was lies on top of
Yeah.
lies on top
And
of
and
lies.
and he not 2 hours. I mean, not even 30 seconds. He gave you less than 30 seconds. He gave him an earful in less than 30
Less
seconds.
than 30 seconds.
He took that paper from him like,
here you
sorry.
go. It's your story.
Yeah, and he was like, are you sure? Because it's basically like his last day, He's like, oh yeah, I'm still on the clock. And I'm like, yo, that's so messed up. How are they getting rid of good people?
Good
Quality
reporters.
people.
Yes. And then this guy we already saw with this whole wheelchair story that he's a fraud. And it seemed like Gus know, but he don't have enough proof yet to call him out on it.
Well, I don't really like when you make comments like that. So
how? I mean, he already said something about it.
I'm just saying it scares me when you say stuff like that because
okay, I'll keep my mouth.
It makes me feel like no, don't even start. It makes me feel like you know something. You're saying something. Okay, all right. So, guys, back to Daniels. He sees the story in the paper about Carcetti, right, shaking things up to replace Burrell with Daniels, and he's bothered by the anonymous quote that says he stabbed Burrell in the back. So that quote was the quote that Scott wound up getting, and he got it from Nerese, right? And Gus was saying, where did you get this quote from? I wouldn't feel, you said that it's a certain type of source, and I wouldn't feel like, I just wouldn't feel comfortable with putting the source out there if I don't really know for sure where you got it from. So he said he got it from Nerese, and he goes, Roger's not the only one who's got game and all of this stuff. Nobody asked you to say all of that. Nobody cares because you know, whatever. And here's another thing about Scott.
But we saw him type everything in there. Here's
another thing what are you talking about?
When he typed the quote, that was him.
I know. You're saying that he made up the quote because he's saying it's from the Moochie. How do you know he made up the quote, Moochie?
Because they showed him type it.
But that doesn't mean he made it up. You're supposed to type quotes, that when you're in a newspaper, and if you get a quote from somebody,
he was like, where you got it from? He didn't even make a phone call. He just went out the blue and started typing. It's not like we saw him get an interview or anything. He didn't.
Yeah, we didn't see. Right, we didn't see him calling nobody. That's true. We didn't see him call anyone like how.
Like the girl, she makes all her phone calls. She give you who she at and everything.
Yeah,
and she does it in this episode.
Yeah, I know. Okay, and guess what? If I find out that this dude is a fraud, I'm definitely saying something because that means you spoiled it for me.
How?
See, I'm just saying.
Called him out on it. Never mind. I'll just speak.
Eric S said you actually see this when you watch closely because he never made the call. You actually see this when you watch closely. he never made the call. All I'm saying is I don't want no spoilers. That's it. Eric S says Moochie is right. He picked up the phone and hung it up and started typing. Okay. All right. There we go then. All right. Now, Marla, I'm sorry, I'm skipping. So now we're back to Daniels, and he's talking about the quote is a lie, and says, and Rhonda says, so what? Right? I don't know who I don't know who did this quote. Of course, he doesn't know it's anonymous, right? But he feels bad that it's out there. A lie is out there. And she's like, so what? Like, this is good news. How is this not good news? And for me, I just feel like sometimes I feel like there's something about her that I don't like when I don't know. She just when he's about to get promoted and stuff, I get it. You want to be stand by your man and everything. You want to be excited for him, but there's just something about her that irks me. Like she sees he doesn't feel good about this. Like he doesn't want anything like unclean attached to him or anything. You know, he doesn't want that reputation. And she's like, "Oh, screw that. You're about to be promoted." So I don't know. For me, I just feel some type of way about that. How did you feel about this scene?
He's kind of worried because remember, he was been worried about this with Burrell. With like him, they don't have a good relationship. I mean, it's kind of like Rocky. So he's kind of be careful. He don't want to feel like he did something. He don't want to be seen as he kind of backdoored him. I'll say that.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. All right. So then we have McNulty sees that his story did not make the headlines because he had a meeting with Alma because he was trying to get he was trying to give her info on his fake serial killer so that the story can get out right away. And when it does get out, it's in one of those pages again, like one of them back pages. You can't get a front page situation for nothing. Like they don't care, right? And so Jay tells him, like, listen, shake it for another day or two, and then that's it. You're back into the rotation. Like he's basically telling him you're about to be done with chasing this whole situation. All right. I mean, I don't know why Jay is so bothered because it's not like folks is out here really doing anything.
Right.
You got Kima on 3 M's on a triple, so what do you need McNulty for? What do you need the extra person? That's just me. I'm just looking at it like that. I don't know. So all right, so then we also have Cheese. He gives up Blind Butchie, and Chris and Snoop go to Blind Butchie's bar. They go in there blasting, and this is still while it's daylight outside, and so we'll get to that. Did you want to say anything about Cheese giving up Blind Butchie?
I thought he was a piece of trash because he did that.
Yeah, of course. And Chris was like basically bringing up Prop Joe, like, does he know about this and all of that? He was like, he don't know nothing about this. And he said, and when y'all get Omar, like, I want a piece of him, right? He wants a piece of the action
because he pulled the hammer on him.
Yeah. Pulled the hammer.
You gonna make me sick.
So now, guys, we got Marla. So I feel like he went to her because she obviously would understand more. She tells Daniels that he needs to tell Burrell that this situation didn't come from him, right? And she's trying to make sure that Burrell doesn't leak Daniels' past file, which could hurt both of them.
Right.
You want to say anything about this? And then she grabbed the hand.
Okay, the first wife always knows everything.
Yeah,
so
that's
she knows his darkest secrets, and she's part of it. His secrets could affect her career too.
Yes.
So they trying to figure out what's the worst that could happen with this matter if it does come out. And she's telling him, I don't think you should worry. I feel like if you approach this matter in this fashion, that maybe it won't be as bad as you think.
Yeah.
So maybe if you just talk to him and let him know that this isn't coming from you.
Yeah.
that he that he'll keep everything under wraps as far as his secret.
Right. And then you see how she was like, we already lost so much, and then she grabs his hand, put her hand over his. I was like, oh yeah, y'all lost your marriage. Y'all already lost so much. I was just like, and look how he looked at her like, oh, okay, girl, I don't know. Rhonda, you better you better get over here, Rhonda. Now I don't really care though. So I don't. It's just like I said, something about Rhonda. I don't think she's a bad person, but it's just something about her. Like she just seems really, and it's okay to be ambitious, but if she clearly sees something's wrong, and he feels some type of way, like it's not. It don't seem like it's time to celebrate. Put aside the celebration for right now and see what's really going on with him. But he wasn't gonna tell her the real tea.
I don't think she knows about any of that stuff.
Yeah, that's why I said he wasn't gonna tell her the real tea.
Why he was so quiet.
He ain't, and I doubt if he would. I don't know. I doubt he would say it, but sometimes I'm afraid to say certain things. But so now we have Chris and Snoop. They're torturing blind Butchie.
This was horrible.
Yeah. And but he still doesn't give up Omar, right? So Chris deletes him, which is I didn't like this scene.
This made me really not like Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like it, and especially with him hollering like this is a blind man. Why though? Why? But we know why. This is the way to get to draw Omar out. So what he does is Chris and Snoop leave one of Butchie's men alive, and he says go on and tell Omar everything that happened here, and so when they're leaving, Snoop is like, yo, we did all of that and we still don't have a line on the man. Meanwhile, he gonna be coming at us, right? And so Chris tells her that they're gonna have to switch things up. Marlo's gonna have to stay indoors while everyone else goes on the run. And Snoop says it sounds like a screwed up plan to me. You know what I mean? But Chris was like, well, Marlo wants Omar. What else do you need to know? And it's just like, this also shows you that it doesn't matter how stupid the plan, how foolhardy, nothing. It's just all about what Marlo wants. And the crazy thing is, he's the one that's gonna he's gonna stay indoors protected, and they got to be out here in these streets on the run.
Exactly.
I'm like, what kind of organization is this?
To me, they really protected him like he the king.
Yeah. I mean, the loyalty is out of this world. I mean, I'm not mad at it, but it's just like, it's sad that the real ones can't get loyalty like this. But you get somebody like Marlo and you get these loyal soldiers, because as soon as he said, what else do you need to know? She was like, okay, like, all right, I guess that's that. The same way she told Michael in the last episode, you gotta just stop running your mouth. You know what I'm saying? She just shut up after that. I mean, but when it comes between them two, obviously she could speak her mind when it comes, tell Chris, but Chris shut it down too. Like Marlo said. So Butchie went out like a soldier. Marlon said, when Butchie says I can't see it any other way, what a line.
Yeah. He was like, you want to take this the easy way or the hard way? He said, that's the hard way is the onlyest way I know.
I like that.
That's crazy, y'all.
The onlyest way.
Yeah. That's how he added that little Southern house. The onlyest way I know.
The onlyest way I know.
The hard way is the onlyest way I know.
Yeah. All right, that I didn't expect, guys. That was something that I did not remember, the blind Butchie situation. Yeah. All right, and I thank you guys so much that I was not spoiled from that. All right, so now, guys, Bunk brings in Freeman to talk some sense into McNulty. And so
Wow.
McNulty is like explaining things, and it's looking like he's on the same page as Bunk. Like he's like, so this is what's going on in your effed up mind, and blah blah blah. And Bunk is like, see what I'm talking about? And he says, well, and then McNulty, explains his argument, and that's when Freeman was like, no, you effing up here, this and that, and Bunk thought he was, saying you're just effing up in general with this whole situation, but Freeman was like, no, you're going about it the wrong way. You got to give this man, like, you got to give the guy a twisted fantasy and all of this. So he's basically down with this. Moochie, go ahead.
Yo, that part where freaking Bunk was like, I'm done with this ish. Like, yo, like, really? Like, you gonna agree with him? I'm bringing you in here to listen to reason, to be the voice of reason.
Yes. So, I mean, but who else? Who better, though, to work with, to get ideas from?
He was like, you gotta have some sort of sick,
twisted fantasy.
Yeah, sick fantasy.
Because that is true, though. Like,
So he gonna make it work.
Yes, because that's true. That little ribbon thing, that's kind of corny. Like, these guys be doing some extra weird, like they be doing some very gory things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so not McNulty, Freeman is telling him, like, this is what you lit. This can actually work. No, listen, I just need 2 weeks to bring down Marlo Standstill, and it ain't gonna hurt nobody to fake a few M's,
Mm-hmm. They already going.
Right,
that already gone. So like, who gonna care about the homeless?
Exactly. He said the dead ain't gonna care. He got the same logic as Jimmy at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So
because these dudes is just getting away and they celebrating, kind of like,
yeah,
like, all right, we don't gotta lay low no more. They ain't following us.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact.
We sat there and watched them.
Yeah, and it's crazy, and it's insane what they have to go through, or what they have to do. Somebody like Jimmy, and now Freeman, the lengths that they're willing to go. You know what I mean? Because the city ain't doing nothing about it.
Exactly.
So what are you gonna do? So now we get to the last scene, guys, and Omar gets the news that Butchie is dead, and it's just sad. There's no words or anything. He's like, what's his name? Naldo tells him that he was like, they killed Butchie. He said it in Spanish. And I had to capture this. This is going to be my thumbnail, actually, because I didn't make a thumbnail for this, but this will be my thumbnail. And it's just sad because, Butchie was like a kind of like a father or uncle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is a definite reason why Butchie was not giving him up.
Exactly. And Omar went to him a lot for guidance with certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Just to have an ear to talk to. And he was his voice of reason with a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Oliver Spartan says, walked right into the trap. He should have waited a few months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This type of stuff, I think it happens a lot. Once somebody knows a weakness, that's what they use, right? And that's why a lot of times, especially in this type of game, you gotta spot it. You gotta know what's what. You can't just be popping out, but I don't know. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. What you gotta say, Moochie?
I just looked at the hurt in his face. You could see the hurt in his face.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing.
Yeah.
He look. If he was mad because of Brandon, that was the first person that was like his lover.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He was already mad with the grandmother, right? We already seeing people that he loved, how he goes in when something happened. Remember how he went in with the grandmother?
Yes.
I'm like, troubles are coming now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a prediction. I'm just speaking
I
on
said no. I know.
what happened.
I said Mad Dogs are coming.
No, so
Remember that scene from Mario when the guy coming to get everything? He coming to get all his belongings. Mad Dog's coming. My bad, Ella. Maybe walking into the trap. Don't want my water cut off.
no.
Oh, stop. Yeah, but I mean, that would have been one of. I had put that. I put something like that up. It's a pinned comment. Please no spoilers. This includes hints of things that will happen, such as making comments like this character got what he deserved, or stuff like that. And so, yeah, Oliver, that is one of those kind of comments. It's a hint, like it hints that something is going to go down, but yeah, it's not. I kind of already know, guys, what happens to Omar, but still. All right. But anyway, guys, that's the end of this episode. I hope episode number 4 is better. We'll talk about it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be back on Sunday because we have a tournament this Sunday. So I probably will not be in the building on Sunday, but we'll be back on Tuesday, guys. And also because the Shy is coming back, I'm not sure. Maybe we'll still keep the wire going on Sundays and Tuesdays. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to talk about. The Wire is going to be on from Friday night, so just no need to switch things up. The Wire could stay on for 2 times a week, as far as I'm concerned. But we won't be coming back until next Tuesday for episode number 4. Sorry, Mooch, you got anything you want to say before we leave?
Yes, I got going on my Shy trailer breakdown, and we also will be pre-gaming Thursday night before the episode airs. So I'm gonna have it's gonna be a fun time. We're gonna do some trivia, just talk about predictions and what we think may or may not happen to some of our favorite characters.
Yes, indeed. Eric says next Wire live stream should feature another one of your children in the beginning. Yeah, you know how hard I had to tell him, how many times I had to tell him to come downstairs and everything, and then when he finally does, he's making noise in the back and got his phone loud. It's just anyway. But we'll see, Eric. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you, Eric S. Oliver Spartan. I like that name, by the way. Renee Hicks. Did I say Marlon Easton? And whoever else is here, thank you guys so much for being here. Montana Max was in the building. Oh, snap. Hi. Haven't seen you in the longest time. What's up? Thank you guys for being here. DeMarcus Vaughn was in the building. You guys are awesome. We'll see you in the next video. Make sure that you tune in at midnight, guys, this Friday midnight for the Shy season premiere with me, your girl, Miss K. That's that one-on-one time that I have with you guys. We're back. Yay! See you guys. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.